welcome to Davita's Stamping Spot. We'll try again. Hopefully that's got it going. Would you please, if you're watching online, give me a shout out and let me know you can see that card in the middle of the screen. As you know, there's always a challenge to technology. We find out how things work today, and it might be different than last week, but it looks like maybe it's working. All right. Let's see there. Okay. Here. All right, it looks like I've got some people joining. Hey, Lori, welcome. It's good to see you. And I've got feedback. Okay, now we'll try that. Hey, Julie, Lois, you can see and hear me. All right. Woo! I have to make a confession. Lori texted me at about, what was it, 4 o'clock today? And said, hey, are you doing a Facebook Live? And I said, yeah, and I don't have any idea what I'm doing yet. So Kent had to put some of his activities on hold till I could figure out what I was doing tonight. But I decided what I wanted to share was some of the things I wanted to teach in my monthly class. Due to my scheduling issues, not very many, or it didn't work out for people to get to come to class. So I decided I would just share it with everybody tonight. So I've come up with, I think, 8 or 9 different ways that you can color your leaves to get fall colors, or any colors, I guess. You can add whatever you want. So let's get started. So the first one is what we do a lot of the time. We're just going to take, let's see, I'll start here with my colors. So my fall colors that I love to use are, of course, in the Regal family, and the Regals are my favorites, so I always enjoy fall. So tell me, what is your season? Are you, when you look at our color families, to me, the spring would kind of be our pastels. Summer would be our brights. Regals would be our fall. And I guess our neutrals just kind of fit in for wherever. So I'm using Cajun Craze, Old Olive, and then I switched, this is Bumblebee out of our in colors. Rich Razzleberry, and I've got pumpkin pie. There we go, pumpkin pie. So I'm a Regals, and I always love it when it's Regal season. So with our leaves. So our basic first way to do it, and I'm sure all of you have done this many times, is just to stamp your leaves straight on. One thing you want to make sure is that when you're going to stamp a chamois, stamp and scrub, because you're going to end up stamping them in different colors. All right, so there's our first way. Just going to basically stamp directly onto our cardstock. And I'll add a color here. I love when we can add purple, because if you know me, you know purple is my color. I pulled out 3 leaves that I like. I'm using the Gorgeous Leaves stamp set right here, and it is one of our clings. So if you saw my advertisement, we just found out this afternoon, all stamp sets that have the red rubber are going to be 15% off on the 20th. So order it on the 20th and you'll get 15% off, which Stampin' Up! Doesn't discount their stamps very often. So it's a really good deal. So you're going to want to look through. The only stamps they're not including are the Hostess sets. You can't get the Hostess ones, but you can get all the rest. All right, now I think I'm going to go with purple. Add that in there. So anyway, any of the red rubbers, I also sent out an email that has the all the stamp sets listed. So if you want to take a look at that and see, it's going to be from basically 12:01 in the morning till 11:59 at night. So it's only that one day. So you definitely don't want to wait. Look and get your ideas for what you want, and so you're ready to go. All right, so this is just this kind of grunge right here. And I'm just adding that in. Okay, so that's your basic. All right, just stamps and ink and paper. All right. So the next one I'm going to do is drop my paper on the floor. All right, I'm going to use the Daubers. Now I did discover that the Daubers give a much darker amount of ink than our blending brushes, which maybe I guess if I thought about that, I would have known it, but I guess really hadn't thought about it. I don't know what happened to my yellow dauber. All right. So what we're going to do is take your dauber and ink it up. And we're going to just go around and add just a little bit of color with all these different daubers. Now you do need to be a little bit careful. You don't want to go crazy with adding ink off the daubers. Okay, I don't know what I call it. I call it huffing. You're going to blow on it. And there you go. Look at all that cool color in there. All right. Now I'm going to clean them off and let's see what the difference is when we, well, I guess instead of the daubers, I'm going to use the blending brushes. So we're going to dry this off and add with the blending brush. Yellow, orange. We had team meeting Saturday and Misty made this great project using the blending brushes. We had some discussions on how to use the blending brushes and care for them. And we were talking about, okay, so I'm going to huff again. So there's the same thing, but look how much softer that is. A lot less ink with your blending brushes. Okay. So now that's two ways: direct ink to the paper, and now we've used daubers and three daubers and blending brushes to add color. So let's talk about the blending brushes just a little bit. Oh my gosh, I love these things. Okay, so one thing I learned, I apologize if you're the person I saw online that shared this, but they said my tendency is to take and put my finger right here and get my ink. And they said what you want to do is hold it back here and just bounce it on the ink pad and get some ink. All right. Then you want to kind of bounce it over here because sometimes you get images from those brushes. And then we're going to start on the side and we're just going to slowly brush in our color. Now, if you want dark color, it's going to take a while because you're doing it very softly. Let me show you the difference. So I know I want 2 spots of yellow. If I don't start off the edge and start here, look what happens. I get a darker spot and then lighter, whereas over here it's much more even. So if you can, you want to start off the edge of your paper. I just used my finger again. And then gently work your way in. Now you will get a little bit on the edge. So a lot of times if I'm doing blending, I cut my paper like 1/4 of an inch too big so I can trim off the edges and I won't have that extra. So you get the idea. You're going to take your blending brush and you're going to blend all of this color. Okay. Now, the thing you need to watch is if you're going to add ink to this, if I was to take this over and put my clear embossing powder on it, the clear embossing powder is going to stick to the whole thing, which can be really cool, but that's not the technique I want tonight. And the way I found that is I inked it all up, made my paper look like this, did not give it time to dry. So when I put the embossing powder over, it went over the entire thing, which was cool because then when I heated it up, the whole thing was shiny and those leaves did turn out really cool. But that's not what I'm going for right now. So I stamped these a little while ago. I did just like what I showed you now, and then I just let it dry. All right. Now, I am going to grab my Versamark. This. And, oh my goodness, what a messy table. Now you guys see how I craft all the time. Everything's this. I get a smaller and smaller work area because I'm always putting my, I put stuff here and then I put more and I put more and I end up with this teeny tiny workspace. All right, so Laurie says she's a fall person and loves the fall colors. Okay, anybody else? Are you a fall? Are you a spring, a summer? So to me, and like I said, the spring, let's just go with subtles, brights, regals, or the neutrals. So what are your colors? What do you just automatically go to? So as you can see, I use my regals here, and I'm going to stamp my leaves in Versamark on here. Now I did learn that it's a good idea to go and put some embossing powder after you've stamped a couple leaves so you can kind of see where they are. Now I did forget to use my embossing buddy before I did this, but it looks like it's going to be pretty forgiving. Okay. You can use your paper piercer or your take a pick tool if you get something extra where you don't want it. And that the gluey end that's got the sticky on it works great for taking the embossing powder off somewhere where that you don't want it. Okay, so now I'm going to go back and I'm going to stamp my another leaf. And I always want some of the leaves to go off the edge of the paper, because when you do that, you know that it's going to look like it's wrapping paper and you just cut a piece off of it. Instead of, I had this little sheet of paper and I did all my stamping right on here. Oh, and I got heavy-handed. Imagine that. Okay, so now I've got 2 of the 3 leaves I want to use. And I'm going to come back with the little one. I'm going to add it in here. I forgot I was going to heat this up. So I had a sample ready and I forgot. Okay, and I'm going to add the embossing powder on this. Then I'm going to grab my heat tool and I'm going to heat this up. This is called Jacob's coat. And I've kind of hinted around the last couple weeks about this technique with some different looks that I've gotten with it. I've had a lot of fun. All right, now I apologize. I know this is going to be loud, but we will heat this up. It's going to reach. All right. Got my clipboard, so I'm going to use my take a picture or my cursor. Lowest your brights, okay. I can see that with being an elementary teacher. You probably used the primary colors a lot with your students. Not that that's brights, but I can see part of why you would use them a lot. All right. Now, after I heat this up, the leaves are going to be all shiny and you really can't see them real well. And that's okay. All right. I'm going to set that to the side for just a couple minutes and let it cool. So while I'm doing that, one of the other ways I think is really cool to do our leaves is you can do it one of 2 ways. So the first way, and I'm doing it the right way, is to take your blending brushes, and this is bumblebee paper, and I'm just rubbing some bumblebee on, and I'm going to grab some pumpkin pie. I'm going to add that on here, and it just gives your colored cardstock some texture and variety. And I did find when I was playing around with this a few weeks ago that I really liked adding in a little bit of the cinnamon cider, which really surprised me because I was surprised that I wanted a little brown. You can again take your blending brush and just add in color. There, I got a little too close. Okay, so you can go like that. And then you can cut them out with the dies. The dies are, there are 11 different ones. There's a stem, so you could actually put leaves on it if you want to do your leaves still attached to a branch. And then 3 that cut out the stamps I'm using here, but then a bunch that just cut out additional leaves that you can use. So what I did right before I went on here was I cut out some of these leaves. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my blending brush and I'm just going to gently add some color to the leaves. It just adds, I really like the blending brush because it's really soft. I'll show you the difference. I love to color, so I think that's part of why I like fall leaves and getting to add color to all these leaves. Okay, so see how pretty that is? So I added some Cajun cray, or no, sorry, that's rich raspberry, some Cajun cray, some pumpkin pie, some old olive, and it gives your leaf just a whole bunch of texture. So you could then put it, if you want to cut it out, you can kind of figure out where you like the coloring the best, and you would just run it through the die cutting machine and cut out your leaves. All right, isn't that pretty? Okay, so this should be done now. So what I'm going to do is I love soft suede. I don't know why. I can't explain it, but that's just the way it is. All right, and I forgot. Let's just compare these two. This earlier. You know, they always say that's the worst thing to do. Don't ask a question or do something if you don't know the answer, but we're going to give it a try anyway. So I'm taking the dauber and I'm just brushing it over the leaf that we colored, all right? And what you see happening is the leaf resists this dark color, and you see the color coming through from the blending brush that we did before. Okay, so there's with dauber. Now let's grab a blending brush. I get to use a clean one because all my other brushes. So here's what they look like before you add color. And they, oh my gosh, they're so soft. So I told someone on Saturday, what I have done is I have a blending brush that's browns. I have a yellow, I have an orange, I have a green, and I just so I keep one for all the different colors. And then when I'm done tonight, what I'll do is I'll take my blending brush and I will just rub it on my mat here until I don't see any color. So this one's always brown, this one's always green, this one's always yellow. And I have not seen the ink colors transfer over at all. And I told, I think it was Misty and Cheryl, we were talking about that. I'm not sure who it was. I know it was Misty. And I haven't seen any bleeding of colors come through. So I think it works a lot like our blender pens, because you know, our blender pens start getting weird colored after a while when you add all these different colors. Okay, look how that comes out. Isn't that amazing? Okay, so for this, because I want the dark, I really like the dauber better than the blending brush, because you can use a blending brush, but it's going to take quite a while. All right. So there we go. So I'm not going to have you watch me color all that. So now I'm just going to grab, you can do paper towel, Kleenex, something like that, and your embossing powder and your clear embossing powder resists that brown. Look at that. Isn't that cool? So I did it. This one here is Night of Navy. This one is cinnamon cider. And this one's black. Now, when we learned to do this, the black was always what we did with Jacob's coat. But I think it looks really cool with the brown. Oh, all right. No one else? Okay, so next question. Do you like the navy blue, the black, the cinnamon cider? Let me get just a little of this so it looks really good. I'll let you vote on it. And this one is soft. But you want to leave those blank spots really well. Really, so it's dark. So you get a lot of contrast between the leaves and your brown. Right. And I love the color, so that's probably why I like it. Okay. So we got soft suede, night of navy, black, and cinnamon cider. What do you want? Which one do you think looks the best? You like the contrast? You'll have to tell me in the comments here. All right. I lost track where we are, but there we go. That's another way to add color. All right, let me clean up my workspace here just a little bit. Put the soft suede away. We don't need that in here. Now we're going to grab the apparatus. And this idea came from Fran. She was showing us a card on Saturday that good grief to do that. Fran shared something that she created with her in her class down in Florida a couple weeks ago. I don't know, recently. So she was showing us her card. I had not thought to do it this way. So we're going to do it. So I'm taking the leaf, I'm putting it on the template. You'll notice that I put the stamp case, any stamp case, underneath here, and it gives you a flat surface. So worry about being angled. And I'm just going to put a piece of very vanilla. I find with Regals I use vanilla a lot. I don't know why. All right, so there we go. All right, so for the first one, I'm going to add bumblebee. Push it over and stamp. There's my bumblebee. I'm going to clean that color off. And now I'm going to grab my rich raspberry. And then I'm going to grab the dauber and I'm just going to kind of smooth this color. And then let's do just a little bit. Oops, I forgot. I'm using one color at a time. All right, there we go. Okay, so now I'm going to put that right over the top. You see how it adds that color in? Now, what I think is interesting is when you use the Stamparatus and this rich raspberry, it has more of a brown look. And I suppose it's because it's mixed with the yellow there, which I think is really interesting. All right, now I'm going to come back and I'm going to add just a little bit of pumpkin pie. I'm going to smear that just a little bit. And see, I like that, but it's not dark enough. And that's what I love about the Stamparatus, because I'm going to grab my dauber and I'm just going to add it. Because I want some more, I can come back over with the same thing, and I know it's going to be in the exact same spot, which is what we love about the Stamparatus. You can fix your oops instead of trying to line your stamps up. This is awesome for all of this, especially if you have somebody that you know that struggles with their hands a little bit and they need a little assistance with stamping, or you know they make a lot of mistakes and they need to stamp it again. Oh, I did the wrong side. Okay. Add just a little bit of green over here. So I like the idea with the Stamparatus because you can come back and you just keep stamping over and over, and look at all that beautiful color. All right. So Stamparatus is very helpful. Okay, I have, ooh, you use gorgeous grape for the background. Ooh, I would like that because it's another purple. Awesome. Okay, I've got 2 votes for the navy, but that's your favorite. Any more votes? What's your favorite for the Jacob's coat? Grab this, get it out of the way. All right, now we're going to create a softer leaf. Where did I go? Okay, so here's our paper. I'm going to grab the again. And I'm going to stamp 2 of the bigger leaves. And I'm going to grab our chalks. Now, I haven't shown you the chalks hardly at all. Part of it because I kind of forgot about it. But I'm just going to gently brush across. Remember, our Versamark works like glue. So it's going to grab the chalk. I would recommend that you do this on ones that you're going to cut out because it does seem to get extra chalk places you don't want it. So if you want one of these that you like all crisp, you don't want to use the Versamark on your, like your background or whatever. So I'm just using four of the colors here. All right, so they don't look like that great on the paper because of all that excess, but let me show you what they look like when you cut them out. You know, I used to use chalks all the time, and I just think they give such a soft, pretty look. So look at those two leaves after I get them cut out. Aren't those pretty? And I could have taken more time and etched in more color. I really like the way the colors blend in on that one. I think that's really pretty. All right, how are we doing here? Oh, now we got another one. So I took the leaves and I stamped them in Versamark, and then I used clear embossing powder on this cardstock. Notice my broken one? I was telling my team on Saturday when we had our team meeting in May, I got these out to show everybody, and I dropped the box and broke the chalks before I ever even used them. But I guess that got the worry about what was going to happen to the blocks or the chalks out of the way because I broke them. I'm sure you never do that. Yeah, Laurie, I think they look so different when you cut them out. Hey, Paula, thanks for joining tonight. I love having more people on. I've had times in the afternoon where I'm talking to myself. So much more fun to have everybody watching. All right, so I'm going to go back to the blending brushes. And again, I've embossed my leaves with clear embossing powder and then heated them. All right, I'm going to start with a little bit of green. Again, go off the edge and gradually bring your color in. And I say this does take some time, but if you don't do that, then you end up with really thick blobs that you don't want. And remember, the hard part for me is not to use my hand and push the ink into the brush, but keep my hand back. It looks okay, but you're thinking, it's not very good resistance. But once we take the paper towel to it and brush it off, it's going to look. Now, while I'm doing this, you guys have seen me color before. If you have a piece of 6x6 paper, I want you to grab it. We're going to add in a little Create With Me tonight. So grab a piece of paper. It could be some designer series paper, or it can be cardstock. I will say the designer series paper is easier to fold with what we're going to do than the cardstock, but I'm using cardstock because of what I'm doing here. So I just realized I should have used that one piece when I was coloring. All right, so just a 6x6 sheet of paper is all you're going to need tonight. I thought about saving this for next week, but I decided, we need to have a little fun fold tonight too. So. If you are over on my just personal page, you're going to see that my oldest grandson, it turned 7 months this weekend. Oh, they posted some cute pictures of him. And my youngest did, is it 8 weeks or almost 9 weeks? Unfortunately, I kind of lose track with him because we never get to see him. So it's kind of hard to keep track. Okay, what am I missing here? Oh, Grace. All right, so hopefully you've got your piece of white paper or your cardstock or your designer series paper. All right, so we colored this. This is our Embossed Resist technique. I used very vanilla for my card base. So this is kind of the opposite of Jacob's coat in that the leaves resist. So all the leaves are white and all the color is behind them. Now, if I was just playing by myself, I'd probably come back in and color this a little bit darker to get a little better contrast. Isn't that pretty? All right, let's check my list. Let's see how we're doing. Stamp with Versamark. That's just what we did here. Daubers on the leaves, blending brushes on the leaves, sponge on colored cardstock, Versamark with the chalk, stamp around. I think we're up to 9. So let me show you some of my cards. Some of these you've seen previously. Oh, maybe I was going to show you. I'm cutting my 6x6 square out of Very Vanilla. This is something I can almost guarantee if you've been a demonstrator for very long, you've received one of these. You might have even made them before, but it's one of those things that when I see it, I go, I kind of forgot about that. I need to do that again. All right, so I'm going to very quickly stamp this because this is what I should have been doing all along and I forgot. And you know, you can get a different look even if you're doing these, if you just press a little bit harder on one side than the other. Oh, how funny. Oh, well. I didn't get ink all on the block or on the stamp. I missed the top corner, as you can see right there. All right, let's see what I still need. All right, so hopefully you got your 6x6 paper. I think I'm stalling long enough because this has taken me a while. Like I said, we had a team meeting on Saturday, and I have to say, the biggest blessing for me was watching everyone have so much fun talking to each other. They just could not get enough time of chatting because we had a team meeting and I think I had one in September, but not very many were able to come. And then I had one in May. But to really have our whole team together has been before COVID. So it was one of those things where we almost had to introduce ourselves again, which was really fun to hear what everybody said. Oh, Marie, thank you. I'm glad you like it. Lori, no way already? Yep, already. I tell you, I'm just cruising through them. So when I use the blender brushes and the daubers, here's some of the leaves, just the different colors that I got. Like I said, if you don't let the yellow dry, your purple almost turns into a brown, which is okay. There's those. Just a few of them that I made. I made a gift for my team on Saturday, and so I used a lot of my leaves I'd already cut out. Okay, so I got my piece done. Now I can put all my inks away. Let me show you some of the cards I've created. And you're going to see all the different techniques we talked about tonight. So we'll start with this one. This is the first one. This is just where I sponged in the background, then I directly stamped my leaves on top of it, and then the little dots. Here is one of them that, I don't know if you can see it shining, but that's the one where I embossed the whole sheet and then cut out the dies because I didn't let my ink dry. And then that's one with blending brushes, and that's blending brushes too. Here's your Embossed Resist. Did a little strip there, added in these dies. Again, these are, I loved the cut out leaves with the, when I embossed the whole sheet. There you go, there's the inside on that. And this one, I just liked it. Just look how different those look. Same technique. Just by wrapping your string a little different, adding in just one of the labels, I think it looks very different. And of course, I use different cardstocks. This is probably my all-time favorite. Same technique, but you'll notice on this one, I added the yellow dots in. So after I get all my color here, I'm going to take my dots and just add some dots for some more depth to them. And then this much gratitude is from, what's the name of it? Oh, Heartfelt Wishes. That's from Heartfelt Wishes. And then I added in that scalloped ribbon. I like it because it's the very vanilla color and not the white. And then here's Jacob's coat with, this one's a soft suede. Okay, so there's my cards. I meant to grab one of, oh, I did bring them up here. So I told you I'd keep the leaves and use them for a project. So I made these came from Julie. She made little goodie bags for, and she used, sorry, I forgot I was going to show this. She used the gold trim and the beautiful pumpkins and that blackberry bliss paper. And I took her idea and I wanted to do fall leaves. So I did my own designer series paper, and then I did the leaves where I sponged on the bumblebee, added some twine, and I used the leaf to help hold the piece in place. Now I found if I was careful, I could put a little glue dot underneath here, and when I slid this under, it held it right in place. But then I played with them too much, so I had to put a glue dot here. You could also, if you're worried about somebody opening and closing them a lot, just use a small Velcro dot so they can open and close it. And then these have the Ferrero, I never can say it right, candies inside. But that's what they got. We were supposed to get to play bingo, but we were talking too much and didn't have time. So see, same idea, used all those leaves with that. All right, now it's time for you to make a 3D with me. Out of the way. So you've got your 6x6 paper. This is a credit to Sherry Price. She shared this with us. And to be quite honest, I need to do something real quick. The paper that you're using, you want what you're going to have on top is going to be the inside of your little item here. So I'm going to stamp because I want some color on the top here. Let's see if I did the right direction. Okay, that's it. Pull it up. Sorry guys, I should have been thinking ahead, but to be honest, we're probably lucky we have this much tonight. We're having that team meeting and I'm helping mom move. And I taught school today. I did not didn't get a lot done when it came to stamping. Okay, I gotta remember what she told me. All right, so we're going to fold. Yeah, we're gonna fold in half. Hope I'm doing this the right way. I may have to refold it. Okay, so you're just going to take your 6x6 paper and fold it in half all the way across. Okay, open it up and do the same thing the other direction. And you want to try to have it lined up just right. Okay. All right, so now we've got it folded. We are going to take one point, so keep it folded like this. You're going to take this point and you want to go in about, actually it's between a half and a third, and you're going to put this point right there, okay? And some of you are going, I know what this is. Oh, Marie, those are your favorite chocolates? Oh, good. Well, then I'm glad I put that in your bag. Then we're going to take the next piece and, oh, sorry, that's going to confuse you. Okay, so here's our triangle. So we folded that one up there. Now we're going to take this one, and I want this line of the triangle to line up with this line here, okay? And if you were at the team meeting Saturday, this is kind of like a pop quiz, a review for you of what we did. All right, then we're going to take this and we're going to fold it down. Ha, I did it wrong. I did the wrong part. Okay, well, we're going to fix that. It's called anybody know what it's called? I had to ask Sherry because I couldn't remember what it was called. What's this called? That's very appropriate for me right now. Oh, you didn't get yours even, Marie? Yeah, Sherry said a lot of people struggled with that, getting it even. Okay. But the nice thing is that you cover it up and nobody knows. So I'm just adding in those so there's some color there. Okay, so there's your diaper fold. I must not have gotten mine quite straight this time. She gave me a compliment at the meeting. She said I did really good, but tonight I'm not doing so well. Okay, so this is called, oh, very good, Julie. It's the diaper fold. Awesome. So then the nice thing is it's not going to matter because you're going to cover up your pieces. So this is Bumblebee. I use the layering circles. I don't know what we do without these. I love all the different ones. What do we have? Is it 16 of them? Can't remember. A lot. Know that. So I cut one out in Bumblebee, and I cut one out in the Cajun Craze, and then I'm going to take the leaf that I colored and put it on top. That actually, I don't like that one. Look, I think I'm going to go with that, and if I can mix in some other leaves, and I'll probably put a little bow on top. There we go. All right, so let's start gluing. The neat thing with the diaper fold is when you do it straight, oh, it's driving me crazy, mine's crooked, is it holds itself in place. So you don't even need any adhesive if you don't want to. Now we did glue down this piece here just to keep it flat, or not flat, but keep it attached. Just glue that flap down. Now, the nice thing is if you didn't get it straight, and like Marie and I were talking, a lot of us didn't get them straight on Saturday. You're going to put this over the top, so nobody's going to see it. So unless they're one of these really OCD people that can go back and they get a ruler out and measure it, nobody's going to know. All right. And I was thinking too, probably if I was going to make a lot of these, I'd probably emboss this and give it some texture. I love texture. Now I'm going to add my leaf. Should say leaves. And then I went ahead and I cut out some of these leaves. Now that I started coloring with the Daubers on my cardstock, I can't bring myself to just use them solid colored. I always think I have to color them. All right. So remember that the sale for all the red rubber stamps go on sale. Hang on, I gotta grab my. They go on sale on the 20th, which is Wednesday, and it's for 24 hours. Is that right? 24 hours only. And if there's that stamp set you've just been looking at, you want it, now's the time to get it if it's red rubber. Remember, it does not include the hostess sets, which I get that. They're already giving them at a reduced price, so probably getting better than. When I first got this scallop ribbon, I didn't think I'd ever do anything to just make it straight on cards, but I'm finding I love it as a bow. I have my dimensionals. Well, I'm not getting to the meeting on Saturday and they're still in the box. So and then this works great. You can put a tea bag in it. These milk chocolates from the private collection. Don't know where she got them, but look at that. They fit just perfect. And while we were at our meeting Saturday, one of the things we were talking about is that people need to feel loved and appreciated. Oh, yeah, Marie, that's a good idea. Great for a table name placement card with a tree. That's awesome. And we were talking about all the different places that you could do a little gift like this, because you're out a 6x6 piece of paper and these 2 circles and some scrap paper that you stamped on. The one we did Saturday is really cute. She brought some of our retired designer series paper. So if you're going to give these to people that aren't crafters, they have no idea whether this is current or not. And then we cut out the bear from the penguin paper that was part of Celebration. And how fun to give this to somebody as you're going through the line at the drive-through, because our fast food people, I think they're getting taken advantage of, and they're exhausted and they're getting overworked. Wouldn't they love to get a little gift like this as you go through the drive-through or the grocery store or the bank? So awesome way to give a little tiny gift. We call them Circes. And so a little unexpected gift. So I hope you've enjoyed tonight. Oh my goodness, I went long. Sorry. Oh my goodness, it's 4:70 or 7:47. So I hope you gave you a bunch of ideas on how to color your leaves. I will put the host code in the comment. I forgot to print the host code and have it underneath tonight. So I will put that there. The sale is all day Wednesday. I am also doing Cards and Conversation this Saturday, 1 to 3 at Bike's Burger and Ice Cream in Bonner. And I will have kits available for sale. The kits are awesome. You don't have to think hard. You can just make some great looking cards and spend time visiting with family, friends, people you don't know that are becoming friends. And you'll also get a scoop of ice cream or a Coke. So hope you, if you live in the Bonner area, please let me know if you can join me. I'd love to have you come over to Bikes on Saturday. I think that's it. Thank you to all of you that joined me live tonight. It was so fun to have conversation as I stamped. Have an awesome week. I will send out Create With Me probably on Friday, so you'll have your paper ready, and we'll craft together Monday night at 7. See you then. Bye.